Welcome to Chapter 3 of Quantum Computing Hardware. The previous chapter built a qubit out of a fabricated circuit, patterned on a chip and never quite identical to its neighbor. This chapter takes the opposite approach. Instead of making a quantum system, we borrow one that nature has already made, an atom, and hold it still long enough to compute with it. Two platforms follow that philosophy. Trapped ions hold charged atoms with electric fields. Neutral atoms hold uncharged atoms with focused laser beams. They share a great deal, and they differ in exactly the places that matter for scaling. Start with the most attractive property of atomic qubits. Every atom of a given isotope is exactly identical to every other. Not similar to within manufacturing tolerance, but identical as a matter of physical law. Two ions of the same isotope have precisely the same energy levels and transition frequencies. There is no fabrication variation to characterize and no calibration table that grows with the processor. You cannot manufacture a defective atom. A fabricated qubit, by contrast, leaves the foundry with slightly different parameters and must be tuned individually. The qubit states are internal electronic states, naturally well isolated, which is why long coherence is this platform's signature. To trap a charged particle, you need a potential minimum in all three directions at once, and static electric fields cannot supply one. In a charge-free region, the potential obeys Laplace's equation, and the consequence known as Earnshaw's theorem says there is no local minimum in free space. Every stationary point is a saddle, confining one way and expelling another. The Paul trap, recognized with a share of the 1989 Nobel Prize in Physics, adds time. Oscillate the voltage, and the escaping direction becomes the confining one before the ion can leave. Averaged over that fast oscillation, the ion sits in a genuine bowl, the pseudopotential. A trap holds the ion in a region, but a hot ion rattles around inside it with far too much energy for the gates we are about to describe. The workhorse is Doppler cooling. Tune the laser slightly below the transition. An ion moving toward the light sees it shifted closer to resonance and absorbs more photons, and each one kicks against its motion. Random re-emission sets a floor, so experiments follow with sideband cooling, which removes exactly one quantum of motion at a time. The qubit lives in hyperfine or optical levels and is read out by state-dependent fluorescence. One state glows, the other stays dark. Ions in a common trap all carry the same sign of charge, so they repel and settle into a line, a Coulomb crystal. The chain has no independent per-ion motion. It has collective normal modes, like a row of masses joined by springs. Those modes are quantum oscillators, and their excitations are phonons, shared by every ion. That shared motion is a bus. A gate couples ion A's state to a mode, then couples the same mode to ion B, then disentangles the motion, leaving the qubits entangled. Surak and Zoller proposed this in 1995. Today's workhorse is the Malmer-Sorensen gate. Because every ion couples to the same shared mode, any ion can entangle with any other. That is all-to-all connectivity, a real architectural advantage. On a nearest neighbor chip, you must walk one qubit across with a chain of swap gates, and circuit depth is expensive in the NISQ regime. But the advantage does not survive scaling. A chain of n ions has 3 n-motional modes, and they crowd together, so resolving them needs longer pulses and gates get slower. Heating accumulates, long strings become floppy and buckle, and every ion needs its own steerable beam. The response is many short zones, with ions shuttled between them. Now remove the charge. A neutral atom cannot be grabbed by electric fields, but it can be grabbed by light. Focus a laser tightly and its field induces a dipole in the atom. Tuned below resonance, the force pulls the atom toward the focal spot. That is an optical tweezer, a microscopic bowl holding one atom. Split one laser into hundreds of beams and you have hundreds of traps, so the geometry of the processor is a programmable pattern of light rather than a fabricated layout. Loading is random and leaves holes, so we image the array and use a movable tweezer to carry atoms into the gaps. Weak interaction is a blessing for storage and a problem for computing. Two ground state atoms a few micrometers apart barely notice each other, so there is nothing to build a gate from. The solution is to switch the interaction on only when we want it, by promoting an atom to a Rydberg state, where the outermost electron orbits far from the nucleus. Such an atom is enormous and carries a huge dipole moment. If one atom is already excited, it shifts its neighbor's Rydberg level, so the laser is now off resonance and the second excitation is suppressed. Conditional behavior is exactly what a 2-qubit gate needs. Let's make that suppression quantitative. In the rotating frame, a driven 2-level atom has a Hamiltonian equal to 1/2 omega times sigma x plus 1/2 delta times sigma z, where omega is the Rabi frequency and delta is the detuning. Starting from the ground state, the peak excited population is omega squared over omega squared plus delta squared. A fourth-order Runge-Kutta integration reproduces that formula. On resonance, the transfer is complete. At a detuning of 3 drives, strengths the peak falls to 1/10, and at 10, it falls to about 1%. In the blockade, that detuning is generated by the neighboring atom. Side by side, then, ions are held by oscillating electric fields, atoms by focused light. Ions entangle through shared motion, atoms through the Rydberg blockade. Ion connectivity is all-to-all within a chain and degrades as the chain grows. Atom connectivity is set by the tweezer pattern and can be reconfigured by moving atoms. Ions lead on coherence and on gate and measurement fidelity. Atoms lead on programmable geometry. Ion gates are slow and one long chain does not scale. Atoms get lost and their fidelities are still maturing. What the table hides is how much they share: identical qubits, natural isolation, and considerable optical complexity. Let's recap. Atoms of a given isotope are identical by physical law, so there is no fabrication spread. A Paul trap defeats Earnshaw's theorem by oscillating the field, so the time-averaged pseudopotential becomes a real bowl, and Doppler plus sideband cooling brings the motion near its quantum ground state. Ion gates run through the shared phonon bus, giving all-to-all connectivity that erodes with chain length and pushes designers toward shuttling. Neutral atoms sit in optical tweezers, so geometry is a reconfigurable pattern of light, and the Rydberg blockade supplies the conditional interaction, with atom loss as the honest cost. Next, photonic, spin, and topological platforms.